questions that need answering. Do rappers hate men? Okay, that's my next question. And comment and let me know what you think. Do rappers hate men? I am wondering this because a lot of the hip hop and major like rap artists make music about things that, one, they're not necessarily doing, and two, that will get you put in jail. And you don't have most of you don't have the money that the rappers have to fight these lawyers, or the backing, not even just the money, but the backing of a record company and a huge label who might be funding private prisons at the same time. So, and I emphasis on might, these are just my thoughts and my questions, because the music that most of the rappers that are mainstream artists are making, if you were to replicate that in your day-to-day life and get caught, you would end up in jail. You would end up locked up, or you would end up 6 feet under. So it just makes me wonder, do rappers hate men too? Because how come also a lot of their rap names are drug dealers, are known convicted felons, like Rick Ross. Rick Ross is, first of all, wasn't Rick Ross formerly a parole officer? And so anyway, Rick Ross, the actual person, was a dealer who's now reformed, and he goes around the country and around different places to discuss how what that lifestyle did to him. And you can look them up. There's an actual Rick Ross, but this rapper persona parading as Rick Ross is glorifying. It wasn't he one of the people that was throwing people in jail? And now he's one of the people. So his mission hasn't changed. His goal hasn't changed. His goal originally, as his whatever, I don't know what his actual name is, but his goal when he was a parole officer, allegedly, if he really was a parole officer or worked in that kind of realm, his goal was to lock ends up, point blank period, and to lock whoever up. And so now his goal hasn't changed, because now he's rapping about selling narcotics and living a certain lifestyle, and living that lifestyle will get you caught up and could get you locked up. So he's doing his job. You know, you can't get mad at his dedication to getting people locked up and put in jail, but does make you wonder, like, do you hate these men? You know, and then like all these songs about not raising your family. Hey, I'm making a video, but alrighty, my class ends at 3, so maybe we could be ready like 3:30 or 4 rather than 4:30. Okay, cool. So yeah, then they make music about like not raising your family, you know, leaving your family behind and going out and being a pimp, or going out and just slinging your stuff all over the place. And what happens if you catch something? Then what? They're not gonna pay for your medical bills. What happens if you catch something by slinging your stuff all over the place, raw dogging all over? What happens then? You know, it's kind of like, and that's what makes me wonder, like, because programming, the way that the mind works is like when you hear something over and over and over and over and over again, it does get programmed into your subconscious mind, and it will impact the way that you move. So to me, it seems like there are very specific systems that profit off of this malarkey. This is malarkey. Malarkey. And I'm not judging these people, because they're likely just doing what they feel like they have to do to provide for their family. But I am questioning, like, why is this music like that? Why aren't there any music or any songs about raising your children and staying in their lives? And even if you're not with the woman, to still raise your children. And just because you're not with the mom doesn't mean that you just forget the child. You know, making sure that your child has the same quality of life you have. Not at the dad's house living large and at the mom's house broke, or vice versa. You know, wherever the child is, majority of the time, if there's another parent who is living a completely different quality of life, that parent should ensure that their child is living the same way or closer to, or at least not struggling. How could you do that to your child? Or just like forget about the child and start a new family and move on. It's not okay. But that's the music that we're listening to. We're seeing these beings that have all these different baby mamas, and then you replicate that in your life. And you're not making that replication money, boo-boo. Okay? And if you are, and you're choosing to only take care of one or not the other, it's kind of weird. It's kind of backwards. And they telling you to go do all this stuff. Meanwhile, they married with kids. Telling you to go out here, stand on the street and sell this cocaine, and I'm in my house making money while you on the street risking your life and the life of your family too. Because what if somebody decide to pull up on you? They don't stop there, or they want to get revenge on you, so they go after the people, your loved ones. So not only are you putting your life in jeopardy, but you're putting those around you in jeopardy. And are there opportunities and elsewhere? I don't know. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that the music is perpetuating this nonsense. And it's something that can get you locked up, or get you taken out, or someone that you care about taken out. And not to dinner. So that's what makes me think, like, do they hate people? Like, why is the music like this? Or it's like, you think you cool, but I'm better than you. You think you all that in a bag of chips, but you're really a fart. What? Like, and then it's targeted at the youth, and people will say, well, this music isn't meant for the youth. But that's BS, okay? Anything that is meant to survive and on to the next spaces and to like stay in existence is targeting the youth. And the industry is trying to stay in existence. So they are going to target the youth. They have rappers and other artists on cartoon shows making guest appearances in children's series. So, and it's on all over social media. So you're not going to sit up here and tell me that it's not targeting the youth. And a lot of times it be the youth saying it's not targeting the youth. You be like 17 years old talking about something, it's not targeting the youth. B, you are the youth. B, you literally are the effing youth. What are you talking about? You are the youth. Shut up. It's not targeting the youth. What are you saying right now? That doesn't even make sense. You're the youth. You are the youth. What are you talking about? But it even goes lower. Like, they got babies singing this stuff. Something's wrong. Something's not making sense. So to me, it's like, okay, if you're trying to put that in people's minds so that that's what they reflect, you must be getting money off this. So it's not only like the record sales, but they can get money off you behind bars. Look up the private prison system, and then think about, like, wow, the music that the real popular music is glorifying this stuff. It's making it sound like it's cool. It's cool to be a thug. It's cool to be a hood person, and people in the hood just want to leave. They want to get out the hood, so they make music to get out the hood, and then the music ends up glorifying the hood. So then you got suburbanites acting a plumb fool because they want to look like they're from the ghetto. They want to be hood. They want to be hard. And so you got these make-believe hard people out here doing stuff that's not based on principle and getting everybody caught up. If you don't know how to do something, don't do it. You feel me? And if you don't have to, why are you doing it? Because you want to be hood. Why do you want to be hood? Why do you want to? And then I remember I got into a little thing with somebody. I'm like, your life is easy. You know, it might not be easier or the easiest, but you do have an easy life. But she was trying to like argue with me about how her life was hard. And I'm like, why are you trying to argue that you've had a hard life? Why do you want to own the fact that you are a victim currently? Why are you trying to own this? And then when I put it that way, she was like, wait a minute. Oh yeah, I don't know. And then she calmed down and realized like what I was saying. It's okay to, and it's actually preferred to have an easier life and to have the next generation have easier. And I'm not like don't be dense. What I'm saying about easier is not struggling for certain things, not out here dealing dope. You know, that's not a step in the right direction. That's not progress. That's, oh my gosh, I'm out here doing these things that I could end up in jail for. And then you have one less, some people say, oh, well, I'm doing it because I'm trying to, make money or whatever. And, I'm not judging, but if you end up behind bars, those people that you're in your group or your gang are they, and I don't know, but are they going to take care of your family, or is your family just going to be out of it and then have one less and now not have you around at all because now you're locked up? Like, is your family going to benefit from you not being there at all? And then like, okay, well, a lot of times people come from these families that are not families, and the music is not helping. The music that you are listening to is part of the reason why your situation is the way it is. Part of the reason why these no families are in the situations that they're in, because of this stereotype and this perpetuation of this BS that's harmful. And so it makes me just think, okay, well, there's a bigger system at play here for this to be what they are pushing. Someone has to be profiting. There has to be money being made in this exchange. And also, there's a spiritual aspect to it as well. Because if you are able to control what someone does, you can control them. You can decide, well, you know what? The people aren't angry enough. Okay, we have to do something to make them upset. We have to do something to cause them to riot. We have to do something to cause them to protest. We have to do something to cause them to do a shooting or something. We have to do something to cause them to do something. So you become more programmable because you're not in alignment. Like they might say chakras, but whatever, you're not in alignment. You're so caught up in the drama and all this stuff that you don't have time to heal within yourself to stop the drama from happening, to stop being in certain situations. And it is a process. So I'm not trying to sit up here and say it's easy and all you have to do is one day just decide and listen to an affirmation or whatever. No, it's not easy, but it's possible, and it's better long term than this. You know what I'm saying? And there is a way, but we have to analyze, do I want more of this to continue? And that's why I'm listening to this music. Oh, well, everyone's listening to it. Well, maybe you shouldn't be around everyone. Maybe you should, back up and just calm down a little bit. Get into yourself and figure out, why am I listening to this dangerous music? And about people that have multiple times said that I'm nothing to them. They say, y'all ain't on nothing. Y'all can't do it like me. Look at this. Haha, y'all can't do it like me. Y'all got chains like me. Okay, but we have investments. Because what you gonna do with a chain? People walking around in the most expensive clothes and the most expensive shoes. Do you have a savings account? Do you have money saved? The same amount of money that you have on clothes, do you have that in your bank account? Do you have the same amount that you spend on jewelry and invested? Do you make how much, what your dividends look like? Is your car paid off? Do you have a car note? What your dividends look like, okay? If you really want to be on some big ball and stuff, what your dividends look like? I remember I was talking to this guy about how, they could invest and this, that, and the third. And he was like basically telling me like it's impossible to invest, and like some people like himself just can't. But he also had a Jimmy Choo bag. How did you get that? Where did that come from? You don't have you don't have $10 to invest in Roblox, for example, or AT&T, or I don't know, some Disney, Amazon. Tesla. You don't have $10 to invest in Bitcoin or Ethereum, but you have however much. I don't even know how much a Jimmy Choo bag is, to be quite honest with you. But you have that. Where'd that come from? Even if you had to pay the plug $50 to get it, or it's not real, you still have it. That was $50. You could have put to something else. But it's like people that really listen to like rap music and certain things, like they want everyone to see that they have money. You got all this stuff monetarily, but you ain't got nothing saved up. Come on now. And if you're not living like that, I'm not talking to you. But you have to think about it, like, and this is not on some judgment stuff. This is on some like long-term benefits. If you can invest, then you'll have more money just sitting there. So if something does occur, you not up as creek without a paddle. Like, let's say you're working, right? And all your money, you don't have nothing saved up. You don't have any investments. And let's say you lose your job. You're going to be much more stressed out, looking for another job and desperate and all over the place than if you had a couple thousand. It doesn't got to be a whole bunch. Just if you had, like, let's even say $3,000 in cash ready to go and maybe like $1,000 in an investment, you would feel a whole lot safer than if you had nothing. Even if you had $500 in your bank account, you would feel a whole lot better than if you had zero. If you have $10,000, you'll feel a whole lot better than if you had $2. And so that comes from not being a hyper consumer and not just spending money frivolously. And it's not to say not to purchase things and not to have experiences, but at the same time, I invest. Like, even if you don't have a savings account, at least have some money invested so that it's harder to get to and you have to pay taxes on it, but at least you'll have it. And worst to worst, you can set up a payment plan to pay them taxes off, and you can think like to yourself, man, look at how much taxes I gotta pay. That means I made some money though. I mean, hey. And then you can learn about taxes, whatever. But the point is, like, there's a new layer of stress when you're in that lifestyle, when you always got to buy, you always got to have the nicest things. You always got to put on. Because who are you putting on for? Because people that really feel comfortable within themselves don't have to do that. So not only are you exposing yourself, like, to where you could potentially get robbed, because people might start plotting on you because they know that you have certain things, because you always showing it, so you don't have the security like these celebrities, and they houses get hit all the time. You always hear that a celebrity's house got broken into, or a rapper's house got robbed, they chain pulled off. So, and they have security, and you walking around here with no security, stunting, and you're more of a target. But also, where people that would want to manipulate you will see that and say, okay, well, this person clearly is missing something, or they're in that. So all I have to do is say certain things. If I maneuver a certain way, then they'll respond in this way, and I can get them to do stuff for me because I can see what type of person they are based on what they put out here, based on what I see. And it's like, if you want to rock certain things, do it, but you don't have to, like, just have a balance. And that's what I'm talking about with this music, because you don't see, they be like, oh, you know, my stuff is real most of the time, blah, 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 but it might not be. I heard one rapper in their music video had a dollar on top, and then like newspaper or some kind of paper, and then another dollar on the bottom, and was like acting like they were like talking with their money. Like Jay-Z said, you know, on the gram, with talking with money on your ear, there's a disconnect. We don't call that money over here. First of all, Jay-Z is dissing you, number one, by in one hand making the music that promotes that type of lifestyle, like Top of the Maybach, but then dissing you for having your version of what you consider a Maybach. So not only is he dissing you, but then he's also pointing out the fact that you don't have real money if you're doing that. Because first of all, why are you showing everyone on the internet that you have stacks and stacks of money, and then putting your guns up? Because not only do your haters or the people you're trying to stunt on have access to that, but so do the police. So do the people that want to lock you up. So now, not only are you a target for the people that might want to rob you, you're now also on the radar of the popo that's like, all right, where'd they get that money from? Or the IRS, where'd they get that money from? Wait a minute, they got guns? Okay, so let's keep an eye out on them, because they might be into some fraudulent stuff. So you're now a target to everyone. And then let's say you're one of those that end up like becoming an informant. Now they got you by the cojones. They got you by the balls, okay? Because you step out of line, not only would the ops be after you, but now you done snitched. Now you're an informant. And so now the feds got something on you too. So now you double dose effed. Now you definitely gotta you gotta do what the feds say, or else they'll lock you up. And you gotta be on your P's and Q's in case the ops try to come after you. And then you might end up, then the ops and the feds might team up against you, and then you end up on your own and you end up gone. So it's kind of like why even put yourself in that situation? Why even put yourself in that situation, especially if you have a lot of other options? Why put yourself in that situation? And so then you start to wonder and realize this music is part of the problem. It's not the only issue, but it is part of the problem. And people always want, oh, you gotta say, do this stuff, and Black Lives Matter, and people of color matter, and white people matter, blah, 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 blah. But y'all the same ones that's blasting this music. You're the same ones that don't have money to invest, but your nails is always done. Talking about it cost me $600 for eyelashes. What in the world? And my weave is done. I dropped $1,000 on this wig. Got my nails done, $150. Got my eyelashes done, but I don't have, and I got whatever else on. But how much of that could you have saved and put somewhere else and paid your car off? You could pay your car note. So now you don't have to pay your car anymore. You just have insurance. You could use that money to pay, to pay your bills in advance. You could use that to purchase stock in the people that make nail products, to be quite frank, which I might start doing. Like, especially, it's just, And then you start to, and I'm not saying you start to have more money. And I'm not saying not to do those things if you like it, but have a balance, because the long-term benefits of doing that will result in you having a better life when you get older. Because now when you decide, okay, you know what, I'm done, I don't want to work anymore, blah, 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 you will be able to decide that more likely than if you spend, and you never learn how to have. And you never learn how to grow that wealth. You don't learn discipline. So this is not, I'm not saying this to like, and judge. I'm saying it because it really does make a difference. And as someone who's left some jobs, and I thankfully had some stuff put away so that I was able to find something and also create stuff. You know, I was able to enjoy that lull period, because, you know, I had this one job, and it was just like, I was like, I gotta get out of here. And so, and even my mom was like, you know what, why are you still there? Just leave. And I'm like, you know what, I will. And so I left. And then I had like a couple months where I just did what I wanted to do. And then I got another job. Yeah, I did that twice. The second time wasn't as relaxing. I can, and it wasn't because of money. It just wasn't relaxing. But the first time, and the second time was a lot more relaxing than it would have been had I not had some stuff to kick, you know what I'm saying? Had I not had something, it would have been worse. So the point is, you know, having some stuff put away does make situations, like if you need it, it makes it a lot better. Like there's a book called FU Money. You got to have your FU money. And if you have your FU money and you want to splurge and you want to do certain things, fine, do that. But still have your FU money. And if you're not yet, because discipline takes time. So if you're not yet disciplined enough to have it in your immediate savings account, put that stuff in your investments. And eventually you'll learn enough lessons from taking your investment money out to realize, okay, you know what? I need to have some money just set aside in savings. And then enough times will happen, and then you'll actually start to do it. And it's progress, one step at a time. Like if you never learn financial literacy, you're not going to just know out of nowhere. But it will take someone pointing out, like, hey, do you have anything saved up? And not getting mad about it. Like one person, granted, it was a different situation, but it seemed like she was mad that I was saying, like, stop spending all your money on your investment and on shoes, and you ain't got nothing invested. But, you know, that was an interesting time anyway, so I probably shouldn't even say that, but it was interesting. All right.